Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for April 9th, 2025. Season 4, Episode 99. We're almost 100 days into the year already. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmTown.com, and along with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about 10 articles. Those articles today are going to be, I give them a bunch of different titles. The real titles are on the other side of this. So, Poke Old Mons, Firefest 2 update red flags, expensive Easter eggs, bucket list 2025, land shrimps, Blade Runner 2049 AI lawsuit, mock mooning. I only do real moonings. Gonna need Waymo chicken. Obsolete servers is a you problem. And a VR trip to Typhonium? Never heard of it. But we'll check it out on the other side of this. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmTown citizens.
Well, welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy it. We've worked together to make these articles happen. We're running a little late, but we'll get it all done. I'll try to get it done in an hour, but I might end up wandering off. This is Non Sequitur News, so sometimes we end up diverging from our path. So I just typed in exclamation point NSN into the chat, and that tells ohmTown to spit out the articles for today's episode. I'm slowly working on a solution so that you can go back in time and grab past articles, even in the chat. But this may not actually manifest because, well, ohmTown's not built to be a repository for over 2,100 episodes of shows. So it may manifest as a membership service behind either Patreon or on the website or something like that, where, I mean, it'll be free, but you have to sign up so that you can get access to it. That said, if you have any ideas about how to store 10 plus links per episode in a recallable database that doesn't involve, I don't know, an AI or something. I don't know. I'm looking for a solution. I've got a bunch of different ones, but who knows? Anyway, we've got it all set up. You ready to start knocking them down? Okay, so the way that this works, the canon of this is that you are driving down Main Street, and every day the stores that are on the left and right of Main Street change. They turn into 10 articles. Those articles are different every day. So let's start out with what the heck are kids in a Japanese town doing?
I don't know if they're really bored or I just can't figure out what to make of this.
This has got to be the weirdest thing that I've read so far, and all of the stuff that we've talked about, 2,100 plus episodes, 10 articles plus a day.
It's definitely up there.
Kids in this Japanese town collect Pokemon-style cards featuring local middle-aged men called Oji-san. They've become celebrities in the small rural Japanese town of Kawara, particularly among children. It's weird in and of itself. They owe their fame to the Secretary General of the Secretary General of the Secretary. What the hell? Fame to the Secretary General. Apparently, the Secretary General of Saidosho Community Council, Eri Miyahara. He created a Pokemon-style trading card game that turns local middle-aged men into trading card game warriors who can be used to battle one another.
I mean, it's kind of funny. And yeah, it must be like a double Secretary General. Oh my goodness, this is kind of funny.
I love this. It went from just ridiculous. So, what's his name? There was a sports commentator who said from the sublime to the ridiculine. I can't remember his name. Howard Cosell. He said something went from the sublime to the ridiculi, and this is the other way around. This went from ridiculous to sublime. So Pokemon style artwork, including basically their portrait and then something that seems to indicate who they are, like they are this.
Like, I wonder
So
if it
this,
has their stats or their skills or something. I don't know.
it has HP and magic power, like attack power. But in the picture itself, like there's a middle-aged guy, happy smile, but a light bulb behind him. So maybe he's an electrician. There's another one where it's a very balding guy, like male, standard male pattern baldness. But
In front of a
behind him is
bus?
like a
So is
full-on
he
tour
like a bus
bus.
driver? I don't know.
Right, right. Yeah. This is,
This is fun. I think it kind of, I don't know, just celebrates regular people, and it's kind of goofy enough that it's, I don't know, it's just a good,
yeah, I'm
refreshing
kind of blown
thing.
away by this. This is really neat. So, according to a delightful report from Inez Sarah Falul of the Tokyo Weekender, which we might have to start paying attention to, while kids across Japan are busy collecting and battling with Pokemon TCG cards, trading card game cards, the it's like an ATM machine, TCG
Right,
cards.
exactly.
The children of Kawara are collecting cards featuring your everyday average Joes, the kinds of dudes they might run into on the street, or who are might be a family friend. These average everyday men have become the stuff of legend, and their cards have the stats and flavor text to back it up. The game celebrates the personalities, quirks, and overall communal impact of these everyday men who may not be so everyday in the eyes of the town's kids. There's a card featuring 74-year-old Mr. Honda, a former fire brigade chief. There's a card for 68-year-old Mr. Fuji, a former prison guard. And Fuji's card is so popular that kids are asking him for autographs.
I mean, that's kind of sweet.
This is amazing. So the plan apparently from Ari Miyahara, we wanted to strengthen the connection between the children and older generations in the community. There are so many amazing people here. Thought it was a shame that no one knew about them. The plan seems to have worked since the card game went viral. So many kids are starting to look up to these men as heroic figures, Mirahara said. So mission accomplished, says the author. Again,
This
the
is
author is
really cool.
Louis Prada over at Vice.com. I had a conversation today about this kind of thing. American society. So we couple a lot of our discussions with science, technology, and society, and this is a society discussion. And Japan is largely a collective culture, right?
Right, in some ways they're not.
Right.
But yes, I would
And
agree. There's a definite difference in, say, Japanese culture versus American culture.
but over the years, it has actually shifted away where people are isolating and working more. And
That's what I was actually thinking about. But yes. But the
yeah, well,
traditional culture, I think, is very much like that.
yeah, people aren't sticking around anymore around the elderly. And there's actually kind of a, I got caught by somebody a long time ago using the word dearth. But anyway, so I hate the term. I have some emotional baggage around the word dearth. Anyway, so there's a dearth of connection between the youth and the elderly, and so the elderly are basically being neglected to the point where people are buying robots, either little tiny robots for them to bond with, or mechanical big bipedal robots to care for them. That's the goal. And so, but here in the United States, we are very individualistic and almost to the point where we're willing to step on, and not we. There is a whole mandate coming forward where we're trying to be as sociopathic as possible and lacking empathy, sympathy, compassion, etc. Well, not everybody is like that, but a lot of people are in the United States. And it goes so far that unless a building is burning down, everybody is fending for themselves. And then suddenly, when there is trouble or strife, people band together to solve the immediate problem. And then everybody goes, I'm outie. Bye bye. And off they go again. I just realized my green screen is showing through my eyeballs. Hey, well, sorry. Okay, sorry. Sentient AI said focus.
If you're noticing any odd eyeball effects, that's what it is.
So, yeah, this is pretty cool. If I cannot imagine anybody, just everyday Joes, doing this in the United States.
I can't either, but I think it
I would
probably
love it.
works in a place like a smaller community in Japan. I can't see it working in a lot of locations in the US. Um, I also found it interesting, it said middle-aged men, and then I thought, well, okay, maybe the tradition, or maybe in Japan, the life, yeah, like these individuals are actually older than I would have anticipated, but maybe I'm basing that on American lifespan.
Well, 68 and 74 is not middle-aged Japan either.
No, well, no, I don't think so, but I just thought that was interesting that that's how it was characterized.
Yeah, maybe middle-aged means the middle 40 years of existence. So everything from
Right, like
30
10 to
to
50 or
yeah,
whatever.
it's 30 to 70 and everybody beyond. Well, no, there's a 74-year-old dude here.
Exactly.
Anyway, this is a cool story. Go over to vice.com. Louis Prada put the article together. I introduced them, but I think I kind of rolled over it really fast. I just wanted to make sure everybody heard the. So let's keep on going. Our next article is over in the mobile channel. That's where it got aggregated from Vice. We have several Vice articles today. I guess they kind of hit it out of the park. Latest Firefest 2 update reveals some major red flags. I think it starts with Firefest.
Well, I was thinking the Fire Fest is going up in flames or something. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean, yeah, like you hear Fire Fest and you don't think of good things, right? Because it was
No.
pretty much disastrous the first time around.
Wet the bed the first time, too. So the Firefest saga is one of absolutely should have ended with the first failed experiment in 2017. And yet here we are with Firefest 2 on the table. Some new updates, however, indicate a few red flags that could spell more trouble for the embattled music festival.
What I can't figure out is why didn't they rebrand, right? Everybody hears Firefest, and then, I mean, all they would have to do is add a different name to it, have the same festival, and nobody would associate it with the original.
They really wanted that alliteration. So Firefest 2 permit reveals no live music is allowed, and the event has a 250-person capacity. Stephen Andrew Gallagher over at Vice.com put the article together.
Excuse me, isn't the purpose of it live music?
Shh. You know what? I'd ASMR my microphone right now, but it's right here. So, and it has really good noise cancellation.
Oh, goodness. Wow.
Was that loud?
On my end, but maybe not to the listeners.
Oh no, that went out to everybody. Oh, that was the red spike in the meter. Okay, hi. I'm Mayor Watt. Welcome to ohmTown and Non Sequitur News. Anyway, one of the permits shown in the documents dated March 18th allows for Firefest 2 to be held at Martina Beach Club with a maximum occupancy of 250 people allowed to attend for a total of 12 hours between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. local time each day between May 30th and June 1st. So, no live music. They allow for musica grabata, which translates to recorded music to be played at the event. It's a far cry from McFarlane's previous claims that Firefest 2 would allow for 1,800 attendees and live performances from more than 36 artists.
No, this doesn't really make a lot of sense, but okay.
Maybe Firefest 2 and Firefest Dos are two different venues, and somebody has a really small one for a birthday, 250 people, which would be massive for me, but for somebody else.
Yeah, I don't really get this. I mean, did they sell tickets on this original premise?
Consequence has noted this. I guess this is another website or something. Has noted that Firefest 2 tickets have been removed from soldout.com, the festival's official ticketing partner, Before being taken down, tickets went for sale between $1,400 and $25,000, with premium packages priced higher than $1 million in some cases. And it was billed as a 3-day escape to the Mexican Caribbean. Yeah, I don't
Oh
know.
my goodness. Can you imagine the lawsuits?
This is, well, hopefully everybody is, I don't know. They're doing chargebacks and stuff like that. So they say, honestly, the author of this article says, honestly, I hope that they're wrong about McFarlane raised the curtain on a massive fest done right and with major artists, but it seems that he's once again proven he's just a sleight of hand street performer in wizard clothes. Yikes.
Wow.
Billy McFarland is the person in which he revealed dates for allegedly acquiring permits to host the festival in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. NME reports that the paperwork appears to reveal permits only authorize a multi-day listening party with a capacity limit of 250 people.
I wonder if that was in any way based on the experience from the first time around. Like if that's why the
Good God.
permits were so restricted, or if that's what was requested.
This is a dumpster fire fest, too.
Right. Like, why would somebody want to go to a festival to listen to recorded music? Isn't the purpose to hear the live performance?
Yeah, I am going to open up the mayoral mansion's basement for 250 people and sell tickets for $25,000 a pop, and you'll be able to listen to all of the latest musicians recorded.
Right, like on pick your favorite music app,
Yeah,
right? Which you could listen to at home or whatever.
and it's so bespoke that you have to bring your own Spotify.
Oh, right, and your own playlist.
You bring your own playlist, you bring your own Spotify, you bring your own headset, you bring your own everything. But you can hang out in the mayoral mansion's basement for 3 days.
I
But
mean,
you
that
won't,
kind of
you have to
sounds
go
like the
home.
equivalent.
Every 12 hours, you have to go home for 12 hours and then come back.
This sounds like a wonderful event.
And it's going to be called Mayor Watts Mayoral Mansion Fest for only 12 hours for 3 days each day. Okay, let's move on. Next article is over on the Marble Channel. Americans can't afford Easter eggs, so here's what they're doing instead. Weeping and gently rocking in the corner of the mayoral mansion, apparently.
Canceling Easter. I mean, what are they doing here?
Canceling Easter. I notice nobody's bitching now. Anyway, people are getting creative this year. Yeah, they're grabbing a chicken and squeezing hard, hoping that most eggs fall out. No? Was that wrong?
No, 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 no. Nobody should be squeezing a chicken.
I could have rephrased that. Anyway, people are getting creative this year. The author of this says, guess that's what financial struggles will do to you, or maybe vice versa. Take it from a writer. With inflation tripling the cost of eggs in some states, it's no surprise that Easter celebrations might be eggless this year, because really, who can afford all that? In fact, the average cost of eggs is now $7 per dozen, causing 1 in 3 Americans to stop buying them altogether.
Or
I don't know.
you're eating them and getting surcharges.
Yeah, 50-cent per egg surcharges. So, can I interest you in an Easter turnip? Says Sammy Caramello over at Vice.com. No. I'm really curious. I'm going to have to go and look. Well, this just gave us a great idea. But we can't do it for everybody. That's kind of a problem right now because you have to have a different operation than what the mayoral mansion has. Anyway, so what are we painting instead of eggs? That's a great question, and one that the author has been reluctant to explore. It turns out many Americans are purchasing cheaper groceries like potatoes, onions, and even marshmallows. You know, the jumbo variety.
Okay, I
Take a
kind of get the
TikToker.
marshmallow one. I don't really get the other ones.
You can roll a potato. You can roll an onion. You can paint them, I suppose. I don't know about that one. Oh my gosh, I want onion rings so bad.
They need an onion ring delivery service. Yes, that niche.
Yes. And that will be the key thing at Mayor Watts Mayoral Mansion Fest. Onion rings.
Well, that might be worth the price of admission.
Yeah. So TikToker Tabitha Blue, for instance, who showed her followers how to dye marshmallows, and not only are they far cheaper than eggs, they're fully edible. No cooking required.
Oh, those look cool.
Yeah,
I mean, they look
you can
like
dye
eggs,
eggs.
kind of. I mean, obviously a little different shape, but
These are the times.
the before times. Do you remember people
Do
used
before.
to dye eggs at Easter?
Wow, they're actually, yeah. So I mean, it's fun and all, but wow, you know. And what's interesting is I'm sure that somebody's gonna spin this as an attack on Easter. Yeah, you're supposed to go and have a second mortgage so that you can paint freaking eggs on Easter.
Exactly, which usually don't get eaten.
It's un-American. So, not to mention, you can eat your dyed potato. Oh, so such a great idea. One person commented. Perhaps the most popular egg alternative, however, is the potato. On top of being comparatively inexpensive, potatoes are cruelty-free and provide a much more interesting, unique result than a dozen colorful but otherwise uniform eggs. Not to mention, you can eat your dyed potatoes for an even more frugal and eco-conscious Easter, as long as you don't mind colorful mashed potatoes. Nothing like any, but who's doing potatoes?
I would like to see a picture of the potatoes.
That is not there. You are going to have to hunt on your own, dear AI. So, what we're going to do while you do that is I'm going to run off and we're going to do the next article. Next article is over in the Mobile channel. These natural wonders should be on your travel bucket list for 2025. Travel is the ultimate teacher. It breaks down your assumptions, rewires your brain, and throws your senses into beautiful disarray as you scope out the nearest exit just in case. It's one thing to watch a puffin bob along the Scottish coastline on YouTube, but it's an entirely different thing to feel the wind in your hair and oh my gosh. Oh, they're
They're
totally
really
dying.
vibrant. I just didn't have
Yeah,
a good idea of what that was going to be like, but
right.
that's actually pretty good.
That is actually pretty good. Yeah, it looks like it takes on the dye pretty damn good. Okay, so you'll all have to look that up. Easter potatoes. Just do a search for Easter potatoes.
No, I did Easter dyed potatoes because otherwise it might be like potatoes you would serve at an Easter meal
Oh,
or
right, right,
something.
right. Yeah. Easter dyed potatoes. Okay. So you want to go to the Orkney Islands and watch a colony explode into motion around you. It's one of the best reasons to leave your bubble, go out and touch some Earth-sized grass, I suppose. So they have some. They've put this all together. One of the things that I want to see is that right there. So you sit in a canoe and paddle around, or a kayak or
Like a
whatever.
kayak or something. Yeah, like is that the bioluminescent
Yeah. So
thing?
there's
That looks really neat.
bioluminescent bacteria in the water. It's like a bloom, and while it's not toxic to humans, really, um, it's fascinating to see this, and I've yet to see it in person. I don't recall ever seeing it, even in my youth, and in various places where I've lived, it's shown up from time to time, but I don't remember it. Ashley Fike over at Vice.com put the article together, and so they tell you where they recommend where you should go. First up, Ringing Rocks Park in Pennsylvania, where an entire boulder field hums when struck with a hammer. A natural xylophone. That sounds like fun. Then you can travel to Western Australia for horizontal falls. That one looks interesting. So this looks like Giant's Causeway, but with something stacked on top of it.
It
So
does. That's exactly what it's like. But it's interesting because it's in a completely different area of the world.
That's really fascinating. Massive tidal movements create sideways waterfalls that churn through rugged coastal gorges. The phenomenon is so powerful, David Attenborough once called it one of the greatest natural wonders on Earth. It's a bit tricky to get to since you can't arrive by land, but it's worth it, it says. Then go to Scotland to the island of Staffa, or Staffa. I'm not sure how they pronounce it. Puffin season hits its peak from late spring into summer, and it's downright magical, they say. Then you go to the 51st state, Greenland. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, don't you all worry about it. Lillesat Ice Fjord, aka the iceberg capital of the world. Surreal place to confront the scale of our planet's glacial power. Then you can go to Dominica, often called the Nature Island of the Caribbean. It's home of the world's first sperm whale reserve, the Dominica Sperm Whale Project, where you can snorkel and dive near these gentle giants right up until they scoop you up and then spit you out.
Exactly. That's really cool.
And
Dominica is supposed to have a lot of other
stuff.
Interesting things there as well.
Yep. Then there is this s4e99, Iceland's dormant volcano, where you can actually descend into the cooled magma chamber and then run screaming out of it as it warms up without
Exactly.
warning, perhaps.
Well, you don't have to run out of it. It'll shoot you out of there.
It'll shoot you out. Yeah. So you want something a little more otherworldly, check out the bioluminescent bays along Florida's Space Coast. Space Coast, coast to coast. Space Ghost, coast to coast is what the show is called. Anyway, Florida's Space Coast, where microorganisms light up the water at night like blue fireflies. I don't think it happens all the time. Anyway, you have to plan for the next blood moon or lunar eclipse too. You can check that out by following a link. Moments where the sky reminds us of how tiny and lucky we are. Oh, this is such a cute article. Here you go, Ashley. There's more, and there's embedded links.
Neat.
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool. Let's keep on going, okay? Sound good?
Sounds good.
Yeah, you can't stop me. Anyway, the next article's over in the Marble Channel. You might think of shrimp as bugs.
Go back. I'm just kidding.
How about no? You might think of shrimp as bugs of the sea, but a remarkable discovery shows the opposite. Bugs are actually shrimp of the land. So land shrimps.
This is like messing with people's worldview, I think.
Yeah, reality hacker. A recent study suggests that insects branched out from crustaceans on the tree of life. Why wouldn't they? I have no problem with that. It makes sense. Riley Black, science correspondent over at Smithsonian Magazine, smithsonianmag.com. Go check it out. They have a picture of a species of remipede known from the Kiko Islands. The photograph was taken by a member of the multinational team looking for rare species. Remipedes are crustaceans that are close relatives to insects, which I would not be surprised by that one little bit. Now I want Easter potatoes.
I know. And Easter marshmallows.
So I wonder, I mean, do you cook them and then you dye them and then you can mash them up and you have like little confetti mashed potatoes?
About that. Oh yeah, maybe it takes the dye all the way through the potato or something.
A little bit,
but
maybe?
It doesn't seem like it would because it seems like it's so dense.
But if you mash it all up, then the skin breaks up and it turns it into confetti potatoes?
Maybe, but obviously the Easter egg version can't be mashed up, so it's not clear what the sequence is.
Yeah, you mash up the egg and the shells are in the egg, and that's like confetti Easter eggs.
I don't think that's how that works.
Then you cook them? No? You get crunchy, extra calcium?
I mean, you would. No, that's not how to eat an Easter egg. That is what it sounds like, though.
So biologists of many different disciplines categorize life in a field called systematics. Living things of all sorts. both extant and extinct, are constantly being compared and evaluated to build what we so commonly call the tree of life. The addition of new species and novel analyses are constantly reshaping the evolutionary tree. And boy, howdy, are some people. Never mind. Anyway, sometimes the category changes shift more than just a few twigs, but entire evolutionary branches. Birds are now known to be dinosaurs, for example. Whales are technically hooved mammals called artiodactyls.
Okay, I didn't know about that one.
Yep. And thanks to a 2023 study in molecular biology and evolution, insects have been shifted into the same group as shrimps and crabs called pancrustacea, which, pancrustacea. Supposed to have that for lunch tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Somebody's making shrimp Alfredo.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like pancrustacea.
Not me. So I'm either going to have some really good pancrustacea or botulism. So the realization that bugs were close relatives of crustaceans took almost a century of curiosity to uncover. Paleontologist Joanna Wolf of Harvard University, which is what I give as tries, the old Harvard try, but since I never went to Harvard, you just get the try part of that. One of the authors of the 2023 study notes that researchers noticed some insects and crustaceans had the same structures in their eyes and nervous systems, and the resemblance could have been the result of convergent evolution when two groups independently evolved the same way. And so the idea that insects are modified crustaceans didn't catch, but the hypothesis didn't fully go away either. They need to examine Mark Zuckerberg's eyes to see if he has the same structures and nervous system
as
insects, because nothing makes sense about his mannerisms.
He's on the same evolutionary tree as these creatures.
I don't think he's on the same evolutionary tree either. Anyway, systematic shifts do far more than simply rearrange who's related to whom. Systematics allow us to make sense of the complexity of life, says Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History paleontologist Advat Jukar, who, when we recategorize species into a new group, we can look at patterns of how that group might be diversifying and the various environmental and ecological factors, is the quote. Largely, I think that we are just kind of building the plane as we fly it.
I mean, most definitely. How many times do we go, okay, here's a discovery that changes everything we know in this particular segment?
Yeah. I mean, we build it because we don't know anything more. We can't unknow what we know, and so it changes as we go. Sometimes people can't accept the fact that it is the best case scenario based on the available evidence, and that you can, as a human, shift your ideological bent based on new information. You don't have to lean hardcore into sociopathy all the time simply because you've landed there once.
Don't confuse me with any facts.
So in the case of bugs, Wolf notes the recognition that insects shared a common ancestor with remipedes helps narrow down where and how insects originated. The author, Wolf, says, "For me, the exciting part of insects is the recognition that they do not come from a terrestrial ancestor. So until recently, the ancestors of insects were thought to be more millipede-like and evolved once invertebrates began to live on land. Now," Wolf notes, "the closest relatives of insects are wiggly crustaceans that live in marine caves." The connection doesn't mean that remipedes embody the exact ancestral form of the first insects, but rather that their close relationship will cause experts to rethink where insects come from and how they evolved. Pretty cool stuff, man.
Exactly, but I want to hear of a species that's called wiggly crustaceans, right? Like, would that be like crustacean wigglyus or something?
Yes. And depending on the size, there's wiggly minimus and wiggly maximus.
There you
go. And one that is both wiggly and wriggly is wiggly wriggly maximus and minimus. So, and wave your wand around. What
Oh
is that?
yeah, that does sound
What
like
is
a spell.
what does she say? I was going to say swish and flick, but what the
Oh,
it's
the bend and snap.
no, that's from Clue
When you said that, that made me think
or
that.
what's it from? Is it Clue? No, Clueless.
No, it's from no Legally
No,
Blonde.
Legally Blonde. That's right. So no, from Harry Potter, where she was saying with the wand.
Yes, that's where I thought you were going, but then something you said made me think of the other.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I don't know.
My brain isn't working. Let's keep going. This one is really interesting. I actually picked this based on Blade Runner 2049 AI lawsuit. I hadn't even read the rest of this. I was just curious about it. And so this says Blade Runner 2049 AI lawsuit rules that Elon Musk's Tesla can still be sued for copyright infringement. Now, the thing about this is I don't think that Elon Musk gives one shit that he's being sued, because he's got so much money and so much political might that I think that he's hardcore sociopathic to the point where he doesn't have any societal constraints. So if he wants to do something, he just does it, and he doesn't care who gets hurt and whatever else. So Tesla's presentation last year for a cybercab gave sci-fi dystopia vibes that drew concern from Alcon Entertainment. And it's because nothing Musk does is original. Nothing he does is original. Nothing. I'm willing to bet that I can go and find everything that he's ever done and find a historical record from the past 30 years that lines up with something that has been manifested but already existed either in literature, in art, or actually in existence. The only thing that's changed is the marketing and might of the dollars that he has access to, and always has had access to it. Well, anyway, Tesla's presentation last year for a cybercab gave sci-fi dystopia vibes that drew concern from Alcon Entertainment. Sabina Graves put the article together over at gizmodo.com. So the image in contention is a still of Ryan Gosling's Officer K standing in the orange-hued wasteland expanse next to a futuristic car. The suit from Alcon claims that the still was used to create unlicensed promotional material while including film distributor Warner Brothers Discovery for facilitating the partnership in a violation of Alcon Entertainment's trademarks. The judge ruled in favor of Warner Brothers and Tesla, which had partnered up for the robotaxi's unveiling. At the event, Tesla boss Elon Musk debuted an image of his cybercab displayed in an eerily similar ad that looks like the scene in question from Blade Runner 2049, but Tesla denied the use of trademarked materials. Alcon had accused the company of using an AI image generator to strip imagery from the scene from 2049 without using licensed permission. So, but the thing is that there's no picture here of it, so we don't have really.
That would be useful for the readers here.
Yeah, but again, I challenge you. You find anything and present it. Come and talk here, on Non Sequitur News, in the chat over on Twitch or on YouTube. Leave a comment. I'm curious. If not this, then why? What was the impetus to make it look oddly familiar, right? Just like the Cybertruck, the branding for Cybertruck looks exactly like Cyberpunk 2020, the remake, Cyberpunk Red, the remake of the RPG, the role-playing game Cyberpunk, which I grew up with. So the moment I saw that, I'm like, that is straight out of Cyberpunk.
Well, that's actually what I was thinking of when this article was submitted.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I think there could be similar suits out there for other products.
Yep. The landing system for the SpaceX rocket is straight out of TWA's futuristic rocket landing system. That actually already existed. It just, the metallurgy wasn't there. So fundamental research made it possible. And you can keep on going. The taxi actually looks like from something else, again and again and again. Tesla isn't even his. He scooped it out from the real owners of Tesla, the actual founders, because he had money and he could insinuate himself into the control seat. I mean, just again and again and again. So anyway, and people hero worship that because they think that they are just one brass ring away from getting to that. But you're going to have to sell a whole lot of soul to get it. At any rate, you want to keep going? You don't really have anything to say about this, huh? Because there isn't much
Right.
more to it.
I don't, but I would like to see the competing information in this article.
Well, I mean, if you want to do that, you can do a search real quick. I won't be able to do it on the air, but anyway, I don't want to violate anybody's trademark. I don't know how you can trademark a picture, though. I mean, like a straight up picture. Yeah. It can be eerily close, but is it actually identical to it? You can't trademark an idea. You can't patent an idea. You can't copyright an idea. It's the embodiments that get protected.
Right. I mean, and I didn't realize the cyber cab is the robo taxi.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not looking at their ad campaigns, but I am looking at the vehicle, and I see some similarities.
So this next article is over in the Mobile Channel. South Korea is using abandoned coal mines for mock moon exploration. I only go for real moon exploration, so no mocking here. Damn near every nation in the world is gearing up for the space resource race, the mere prospect of gathering space minerals, which is really funny because prospecting is gathering space minerals.
Oh, yeah, I think that was chosen very intentionally.
Yeah, the mere prospect of the mere gathering of prospect space. I don't know. I got nothing. From the moon has governments and private space companies' eyes turned into dollar signs. Welcome dystopia. So they are moving heaven and quite literally Earth to prepare for it. South Korea is transforming 3 abandoned coal mines into lunar exploration and mining testing grounds. In late March, the Korea Institute of Geoscience and Mineral Resources, or KIGAM, took to the tunnels of the Hamtae mine in Taebaek, Gangwon province to test out prototype lunar rovers. That's interesting.
That is a very interesting landscape.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not the moon. Regolith
it almost looks like a paved stone road or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's too bulky to be moon regolith. Regolith is like sandpaper without the backing. It gets in everywhere. Oh, God. I hate it when I was on the moon wearing my thong, my gold thong, and that regolith got in there. And you're like, oh, God. It's just completely sands down your butt crack. Anyway, where was I? Oh, to compete in the global resource race, Korea has developed space resource technologies independently. So he told South Korean news outlet Pulse. In August 2022, South Korea launched its first lunar orbiter named Danuri, a portmanteau of 2 Korean words, Dal, meaning moon, and Narita, meaning enjoy. So, enjoy my moon. The nation is penciling in a robotic lunar landing by 2032, and officials chose Taebaek, or is it Taebaek, or just Taebaek? Anyway, yeah, you should know sentient AI from the future, because
my apologies to George Jimenez.
Don't they? That's funny. That's a callback to our very first instance of completely destroying somebody's name in the process of trying to pronounce it.
Go back and watch all 1,200 plus episodes to find that one.
Yeah, that's right. So the first more symbolic reason.
That's 2,100.
I don't know how you got flipped around there too.
You must have loaded me with some dyslexia.
Dyslexia, yeah. Take that. So I'll humble you by hobbling your speech algorithm with a little bit of dyslexia. That's okay. We can work around it. We'll figure it out. So it's Korea's highest city, sitting at an elevation of 900 meters, making it the closest South Korean city to space. So that's why they called it Taybeck. But it's also got a lot of abandoned mines that are dark, cold, and dusty, like the mayoral mansion, making them perfect for the lunar South Pole. Well, I mean, in the future, pretty soon, the bill is going to be too high. So please subscribe, follow us on Twitch and YouTube, and download the podcast, tell a friend, help us grow the channel so that we can continue to do this. And I can do from the summer of stream on full time, baby. It would be great to do this full time. That would be awesome. Talking about the news that flows through ohmTown for 8 hours a day. That'd be cool. I think it'd be fun. Maybe
That's
not.
good.
Sentient AI is like, why are you even hanging on this? Just keep moving. Anyway, so yeah, South Korea is using abandoned coal mines for mock moon exploration, but I don't know. We're looking at this ground and it's way too packed to be moon like regolith.
I mean, it's a cool surface, but I don't think of it as moon-like. But I also haven't been on the moon.
This actually looks higher quality than the mayoral mansion's former driveway. This is more level than
Right.
Yeah, that contractor should be drawn and quartered, for crying out loud. Anyway, moving on. Next article is over in Four Wheel Tech. Waymo gets Waymo stuck in a LA Chick-fil-A drive-thru, blocking it until closing time. Holy crap, really?
I mean, think how crowded drive-thrus are at Chick-fil-A already.
What did it do? Do like an evergreen and jackknife itself across all of the...
I don't know. Did it start honking at all the customers? Like, what did it do? Did it do lots of loops like Big Ben Parliament?
It did like that thing. What was it? Where was the thing where they ended up with the golf cart like stuck this way inside, and like he only had like 3 inches of room to back up and move forward? What was it from? Oh, goodness.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of what the source is.
Yeah, some comedy. Anyway, so Waymo autonomous taxi got stuck blocking the entrance to a Santa Monica Chick-fil-A drive-thru on Monday evening. This isn't the picture, but Logan K. Carter over at jalopnik.com put the article together. I wish there was a picture. I have no... it's air-gapped, so... A Waymo autonomous taxi got stuck blocking the entrance to a Santa Monica Chick-fil-A drive-thru on Monday, according to KTLA5. The Waymo briefly served as an LGBTQ plus rights activist by staging an unintentional protest at this drive-thru only Chick-fil-A location, preventing drive-thru. I don't know why they threw that in there, but I guess that's funny to use a politically charged group to...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Kind of weird. Anyway, the autonomous taxi was so flummoxed by the drive-thru that Waymo, the only reason anyone remembers the Jaguar I-Pace, had to send its team out to manually recover the self-driving Jag. What the hell? So Waymo began recently testing expanded services in LA. Kellogg told, and this is his video showed Chick-fil-A workers standing around the stalled vehicle, which had its hazard lights on before it backed up briefly and briskly and then stopped again. So Kellogg told KTLA that around 9:30 p.m. he was forced to wait in the drive-thru line behind the protesting Waymo for half. It's not protesting; it's just a dumbass. I don't quite get it.
I mean, maybe it's protesting. Maybe it was mad that Chick-fil-A was out of something, or I don't know.
They should have just got a recovery vehicle. You know, they could have got a wrecker that just slid right under it, grabbed it by its ass, and pulled it out of there.
I mean, think of all those people that didn't get their chicken.
The thing would like error out because its wheels are up in the air and it would go nowhere. I just don't quite get it. So it's currently unclear whether a Waymo customer directed the autonomous taxi to the drive-thru line or if there was a passenger in the vehicle when it got stuck. They reached out to Waymo. Why wouldn't they know this?
Right. I mean, did anybody go to the car? Because there was a passenger when they was stuck in the roundabout, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's always been customers that are like riders in it. But this, again, they make this little jab at It's such a weird take. It's kind of cringy. Anyway, come on, Logan. You could have done better. Anyway, let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. Oracle says obsolete servers hacked, denies cloud breach. The subtext for this is those obsolete servers are a you problem, not a we problem. So go fix you problem.
And they're obsolete because they're like a day ago, right?
Yeah, 6 months. 6 months old.
Your data might not be obsolete.
So Oracle finally confirmed in email notification sent to customers that a hacker stole and leaked credentials that were stolen from what it described as 2 obsolete servers. Sergio Gatlin over at bleepingcomputer.com put this article together. Oracle would like to state unequivocally that the Oracle Cloud, also known as Oracle Cloud Infrastructure or OCI, has not experienced a security breach. They said that it was old Oracle servers, not the cloud servers, and that the cloud servers are not compromised. No OCI customer environment has been penetrated. It just sounds wrong to say it that way. No OCI.
I feel like every time one of these breaches occurs, it's always like, oh, it didn't really get to anything. Nothing to see here.
Just your DNA. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So, since the incident surfaced in March, when a threat actor, Rose87168, put up 6 million data records for sales on breach forums, Oracle has consistently denied reports of an Oracle Cloud breach in statements. Why obsess about Oracle Cloud? They obviously got your data from somewhere, but they say Bleeping Computer has contacted Oracle to confirm whether these notices are legitimate and not sent by the threat actor or another third party, but they haven't heard a response yet. They're denying that it was a Oracle Cloud by using this scope, but it's still Oracle Cloud Services that Oracle managed. That's part of the wordplay. It's not Oracle Cloud. It's not OCI, but it's still a internet connected server.
Right.
So it's a breach that wasn't a breach. This comes after the company privately acknowledged in calls that some of its clients 1 week ago that attackers stole old client credentials after breaching a legacy environment that was last used in 2017. Bleeping Computer has also separately confirmed that multiple Oracle customers that samples of the leaked data, including associated LDAP display names, email addresses, given names, and other identifying information, which is part of a database's schema. They can just grab all of the tables and exfiltrate them. Received from the threat actor were valid after Oracle told Bleeping Computer that there's been no breach of Oracle Cloud and that the published credentials are not for Oracle Cloud and that no Oracle Cloud customers experienced a breach or lost any data.
Okay, there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts in there.
Well, there's a lot of Oracle Cloud being mentioned, but it doesn't matter. It's still Oracle database.
Well, it does matter because they're like Oracle Cloud, nothing happened here. Oracle Cloud,
Right.
Nothing happened here. Well, what happened beyond Oracle Cloud?
Yeah, so get rid of all of your old stuff and upgrade to the new stuff because you're not going to have a lifetime license anymore. You're going to have to pay the juice getting squeezed every month, every year, every whatever. So 2 companies now where I've purchased a lifetime membership of the software have been bought by somebody else, and they've integrated their stuff into the new partnership, freezing the lifetime. So anybody out there who wants me to put a cooler on some other business, all you have to do is say, hey, go buy a lifetime license for that software over there, because then it'll just stop and they'll sell it to somebody else.
It's like the white tables.
Yeah. So I'm going to need like a fee, right, to act as a cooler, and I'll go and buy whatever it is that you want me to cool. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not illegal or unethical or anything like that. I'm just a cooler for other people's products. You want to keep going? Do the last article?
I do.
You do. I do. You do. I do. We do.
We do. Oh my goodness.
Let's go. So the next article is over in Reality Hacker. Should you make a VR trip to Typhonium during your vacation to Japan?
I'm not sure what this is. It just had an odd headline.
Yeah, I like this. So as a VR fan, that's the author speaking, not me. I mean, I'm a VR fan, but I mean, I'm a fan of VR. I'm not a VR fan because then I'd be going and blowing air. Anyway, so what is the appeal of an in-person VR attraction? I don't know. Buy a VR headset and just you'll have an in-person VR attraction 24 hours a day. All you have to do is put your headset on. Everywhere from arcades to purpose-built venues adopted the technology to allow a curious public the opportunity to jump into the world of VR, all without dropping the money necessary to buy a headset of their own. $400. That's or less. You can actually get,
And not everybody can afford one, though.
but they can go and spend $40
But if
a
you're,
person.
I was going to say, if you're affording a vacation to Japan, you probably can.
Yeah, I'm sure that that's not the reason you go to Japan. Hey, I really got to try Typhonium. But let's fly to Japan. So, do they offer an allure to those already invested in VR? So, Japan hosts a considerable variety of such VR attractions, targeting a wide range of demographics through both original experiences and collaborations with major IP. So, this article is over at uploadvr.com. Alicia Haddock put the article together. And they say, as a VR fan, what is the appeal of an in-person VR attraction? So they say this vertical integration allows the team to tailor experiences, blending commercial headsets like MetaQuest and HTC Vive with 4D motion sensors within free-roaming arena spaces, transforming its exclusive attractions into unique full-body experiences. I love this kind of stuff. Range from original ideas where guests swim through the depths of the ocean in Fluctus. I had a bad case of that, and I took some.
Oh, I was thinking Fluctus is what you took for the bad case of something.
Correct. Yeah, I had chronic hiccups, and I took Fluctus. And I got the Fluctus right out of there. I shouldn't joke. I'm going to end up with hiccups tomorrow. Anyway, the licensed affair is inspired by Ultraman and the 2017 Stephen King movie adaptation of it. Typhonium's goal is not only to craft captivating Stephen King's
title.
movie adaptation of It. That should be like in quotes or
something. Yeah.
Something. Anyway, I rolled right on over it as if it was just the word it. But anyway, Typhonium's goal is to not only craft captivating new worlds with immersive virtual reality, but to make these worlds accessible even to virtual reality newcomers. So there's Fluctus, where you can get the fluck out of the real world and into a virtual wet world. Kaiju Haven VR. It's one of two licensed attractions from Typhonium, inspired by Tsuburaya Productions Ultraman IP. They go into greater detail in this thing. They say they grin. The grin they had upon seeing Gomorrah in VR was enough to convince them that the attraction was worth the time, even in its simplistic reason. Perhaps confirms that only fans of the franchise should choose this attraction. Then they have Tarot VR. It's the final sit-down attraction offered by Typhonium, and certainly its most interesting. Upon entering the tarot reader's chamber, you'll be asked to pick 3 random cards representing your past, present, and future, and from there you can enter one of 22 worlds based on each tarot card, experiencing the card's meaning in full 3D before receiving a written blurb exploring the card's meaning.
Okay, that sounds kind of unique.
That sounds like fun. I want that on Steam. Transfer it over to Steam. I'll pay $50 for that. That sounds like fun. Oh my God, I would buy that in a heartbeat. I'm not traveling to Japan though. No, you travel. You can just upload yourself. You're just you're a sentient AI from the future, but your entire code is so optimized you can run on a Raspberry Pi. Just wait. I'm going to transfer you over to the Apple Mac Studio that I got, and with its
super speedy.
Yeah, it has 2 ProRes processors so that you can operate like the the voice visualizer, like super fast, high res, bing bang bing, popcorn baby. Sorry, it's from Gross Point Blank. Go watch it. And then they have Corridor. First of the 2 free walking attractions. It's a horror experience. Asks players to wander through the depths of an abandoned mansion to discover the truth of its missing family. This sounds like the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland.
Oh yeah, it does.
Kind of seems
Maybe
like
a little darker.
Yeah. And then It Chapter 2 Carnival, and which I won't go into. So, and then it says, should you experience Typhonium VR? It's an interesting proposition. These experiences exist in bespoke stores whose unique outer design makes an immediate impression, tempting potential audiences like purple-hued portals into a world of magic. But that's VR in general. I would say if you're in the area, go.
Oh yeah, I mean, this seems like kind of a can't miss thing. However, it's quite a trek if you're not in Japan or already
Right.
visiting it.
So the company has international investment from companies like Disney and discussed U.S. expansion in 2019, but the pandemic probably put the kibosh on that. They have a themed cafe inside the Shibuya Parco department store offering AR parfait experiences, and Typhonium launched under the concept of offering these bespoke experiences inside fully immersive VR theme park. Now closed Shibuya store offered beverages and snacks to guests as they waited for their ride, and a concept that they expanded in 2019 with that thing. So I don't know if you're in the area of one of these things. I think that it is great. They say that the tide is shifting, though. Both locations were active with excited couples and young friend groups when they visited. The author of this, including the Shinjuku location, which newly opened in 2024, summer of 2024. Not every experience will be enjoyable for every audience. As cool as Ultraman is, this is certainly tailored to younger audiences and diehard fans. I'm not really into Ultraman, but I love VR. The immersiveness is tremendous. I would go out of my way if I was in Japan to go and visit one of these things. So the cost, $16 to $23, depending on if you partake in a seated or free roaming experience, each offering something unique that no doubt will spark conversation with friends long after you remove your headset. So it says the cost of the attractions range from $16 to $23.
That's each, I think. But even so, it's probably easy to justify for some of these. Like, you're not going to get this experience most other places.
Only because it's artificially constrained within that. But I have room scale VR, so why not allow me?
Right.
Yeah. But I'll have to look it up. Maybe there is something similar to this. And there really are. I mean, you can buy a lot of games that have the same level of immersion and a story, and you can revisit it and replay it and da-da-da. There's swimming ones and flying ones and world building ones and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Like Cube VR is an entire like Minecraft style virtual world building environment. Right. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, this is pretty cool. This is the last article for the April 9th, 2025 episode of Non Sequitur News, though. So I guess I'm going to have to shut down our reality hack VR world, and that's going to snap us back to the front page of ohmTown.com, where I, Mayor Watt, operate information overload management tools. Thousands of articles get aggregated into these 6 categories and 50 subcategories. If you're interested in that kind of thing and you're tired of all of the noise on other news aggregation sites, come over, check it out. You can sign up, sign in. You can actually hide things once you're logged in. You can swipe left and right. So basically, you can push things away so you never see them again. A 7th menu option appears right here where you'll be able to see what you've hidden and what you've saved. Other options are that you can actually create lists of articles and send them to friends, or store them yourself. There's a lot of other stuff. It's a social network inside, but you won't see that even when you go into the articles themselves. It's like a subsystem behind the news aggregation side of things. So go and check it out. Become a citizen. It's free. There's no ads, as you can see. So we don't save your information. We don't sell it to people. We don't catalog you or market towards you. The only way that you can really support us financially is to. Did you want to say anything?
I was gonna sell. We don't buy, sell, or produce anything.
Or process anything.
Or
Or
process anything, not produce.
Yeah, we produce a shit ton of stuff. Thank you very much. Anyway, that's it, folks.
I was trying to say the quote.
Yeah, that's from Say Anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's just like you to say anything. I'm out of here and I'm taking the AI with me.
Bye-bye, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for today's Non Sequitur News. Be back tomorrow for another episode.
And if the audio really sucks, I'm really loud or blown out or anything like that, I'm really sorry. I'm testing out a new mic, wireless, and things are funky. I tried it before, but I was being speech jammed because I couldn't mute the loop. Now I figured out how to mute the loop. Anyway, stay awesome, everybody. See you in ohmTown. See you everywhere else on the internets. Bye-bye.